My name's Doug Davis, and this is our Battle of Geonosis, the Droid Factory. We started about in 2011. We didn't have a lot of time for the first show. We had about 3 weeks, so a lot of the things that we did are cardboard boxes underneath tablecloths, and then we put sets on the top and some custom things. And 5 years later, we now have 140 base plates, 2,000 minifigures, a gigantic 8-foot tall mountain that's 5 foot wide, 5 feet deep, that's all mechanized inside. And we set the battlefield up different every time we come. We like to change things up. This time we put the droids and the clones basically one battle plate away from everything breaking loose.
There you go. So is it almost like a modular system with the base plates so you can set it at the battlefield up separately each time?
Yes, actually everything out here is 100% changeable, and we do change it every time. Sometimes the clones win, sometimes the droids win. Depends on the mood.
Yeah, this is so impressive. How long does it usually take to set this whole thing up at a show?
Well, with 2 people in Nashville a few months ago that have never even seen Star Wars movies before, I was able to talk to them, and we put this together in less than 4 hours.
Okay.
So, for 6 8-foot tables side by side, I was pretty happy with that. When my Star Wars geek buddies that helped me at the show, because this is kind of in my backyard, there was 6 of us, and we had it knocked out in about 2.5 hours. So it does help when you've got a little movie knowledge and know which cannon's supposed to be facing which direction,
There you go. Have an idea of kind of the storyline of what's going on here.
Exactly. Yeah, having seen the movie helps out, or if I had some still pictures, maybe that would have helped out too. But I wasn't quite as prepared. I didn't think I had to be in Nashville, but we got through it, and we did a good job. People liked it, so I love to see the crowd when they walk up on this side and they go, "Oh wow, cool, that's a battlefield." And then they walk to the backside where the mountain is and all the stuff's moving, and they're like, "Holy cow!"
Yeah, well, we can walk to the back now then, if you don't mind, and kind of take a look inside the mountain and get a closer look at the whole mountain here, because this thing is just massive. So much cool stuff. So kind of what's going on back here?
Well, when everything works, right now I've got one wire that's shorted out this morning. Normally on the left side here, this conveyor belt takes raw plastic up to the foundry that's in the back. From the foundry, it comes out and it splits into 2 different lines. One's a Super Battle Droid factory line, and the other one's a regular Battle Droid line. The Battle Droids get hammered, stamped, and cut and sawed and everything that happens in the movie, and just follows it down. And when they get down to the bottom, they line up in formation so they can go join the fight.
Okay. Well, what's kind of the gears and what's keeping everything running in there?
Everything in here is ran. There's 2 NXT motors and 2 NXT brains, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's about 9 different motors that run into just different gear systems. We kind of slow it down as it gets down to the bottom, speed it up, and we get to the top. We've got a couple of rechargeable 9-volt battery packs that we just switched to. And normally this piece on the top, Anakin Skywalker chases this droid ship during the whole show. However, our NXT for that, we left at home. So.
So they're just stationary there for now. So some of that built into the mountain here then? Some of that like wiring, is there like that stuff?
Well, a lot of the wiring, I can show you an access panel over here on the side. People are going to go, what is that guy building with? But it's actually got a base inside of Duplo bricks.
Okay.
So we've got a little work center there that we hide our NXTs and our extra batteries and sometimes extra motors and clips and things like that. That way it keeps out of sight and still looks cool. We used to put this part together every time we set a show up, and we realized, we could put this on a wooden platform and take it in 3 pieces instead of 30. It'd probably make our lives a lot easier. So now I just have to have 2 gigantic guys that work out for 3 or 4 days a week to help me carry it in. But we got smart. We got a cart now, so it does help it a little bit too.
Yeah. Was doing the landscaping kind of on the mountain, is that difficult? Kind of building that up, getting the rugged look all right?
No, I think that's probably the easiest part on the outside. I think the toughest part we had, because we don't use digital designer, we build it the old-fashioned way with a bunch of guys and an occasional cuss word or 2 that comes out because we forgot to do something. But every once in a while, we put things that stick out on the inside so we can build off those points. And sometimes when we redo it, because this is the 7th version of Geonosis, we forgot, or we wanted to put a conveyor belt across this way, and we realized, man, there's nothing to attach it to. Start over. So we start over. We put in, some more things that we can hook into the walls and make it a little more sturdy. And a lot of times we find cool parts, in other collections, things that we buy and assimilate into. We have a shop here in the south side of Indy, and a lot of things come in the door. And we think, oh my God, this would be great for Geonosis. So we figure out a way to put it in next year. So
yeah, that works really well. And then
bigger, better next year.
Very cool. So you continue to upgrade it. So do you have some of the older Star Wars sets, or is most of this kind of the newer sets? Because I know Star Wars has been around for like over 15 years now.
Actually, the big MTT transports for the droids, those are the original ones. I think they're about 2007 vintage year. And I think we have 4 original gunships, and then we have 6 new gunships that we wanted to make the look a little bit different on those. We like the gunships that were the originals because we make them bigger inside so it holds more troops, so that it looks like it's carrying more clones into the battlefield. So, and we like to put different decals, and we had some medical decals made, so we've got one ship that doesn't have as much armament. It's supposed to go get the clones that get hurt and take them back to the mobile medical center. So, but yeah, there's a mixture of old and new in here.
Yeah, this whole thing is really impressive. Is it hard to keep all the moving parts here in the mountain running, or is that difficult to make sure that stuff doesn't break down at a show?
Well, it normally doesn't have any problems at all. And I know the wire that went bad this morning has probably been in service on this for about 4 years. And of course, it's the wire that's snaked all through the bottom of the stuff that's built. So it's not an easy, quick fix. And I didn't want to do it during the show because, you'd see a grown man up there, probably the bad side of him, been over replacing a wire for a while. It'd probably take me a half hour, 45 minutes to do it. So,
yeah, there you go. But for the most part, it seems to run well then. That's good.
It does. And actually, we redid some of the conveyor belts about 2 months ago. We used to run through rechargeable AA batteries. We would burn through about a dozen of those in 2 to 3 hours at a show. And we've upgraded some of the gearing. We replaced some of the rods and the technique pins and things in there. And last time in Nashville, it ran for 8 straight hours on a single battery change. So we're real happy with that. Because that's, again, one of those things, if you can put it up and walk away, it's a whole lot easier because we can enjoy the show and go look at all the cool stuff too. So,
yeah. Well, that's great. This whole display is so impressive, especially the mountain part with all the moving parts here. I think this is really great. So thank you for talking with me about it. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me. Appreciate it.
Pew, 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 pew. Yeah.
Get him, the bad guys! I killed the clone! And we're good. Oh, I'm Jango Fett. I'm Boba Fett's dad. I'm Count Dooku. Give me the plans for the Death Star. I'm Viceroy. I work for some economic trade federation. This whole movie is about economics. That's about it.
What sound does the droid make?
Oh, Roger, Roger.
What do you think of the minifig on a base plate technique used by this designer?
Oh, it's ingenious. It's all about minifigs on a base plate. You got to have a big base plate and just like a few figs. It's all about the figs. I don't care about the sets or the mocks. It's all about the figs.
Large collections of figs are pretty incredible.
I say that if you own a large quantity of clones on a base plate, you're number one in my book.
Well, I think that wraps this up for us. Thank you, Shiloh. I appreciate it.